This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. All right, let's go ahead and open up the doors to the waiting room into Daily with Doc and Becca. Hello, everybody. My name is Becca Dukes. As the hostess of this program, I'm excited to be able to share with you more tools for your toolbox. Today is Monday, and on Mondays, we have Dr. Cara Ringland, who is an iridologist and a naturopathic physician. Now, she's taken iridology and she's mixing that with traditional naturopathic medicine and using the two of them together to be able to see within the body what the eyes tell us and address it through naturopathic and some nutraceutical methods and avenues to address the health, the body as a whole. Now, she is amazing. She has been studying under some of the big people in iridology and naturopathic medicine and essential oils. And that's where we're going to go today with our message, where we are going to be talking about the synergy that comes with intentional nutrition and then using some essential oils to help support the digestive system and the lymphatic system. So if you don't know that the two of them are related, you're going to find more out about that today in our program, Daily with Doc and Becca. Now, before we get started, if you were shared this program by somebody specific, we want to make sure that you get back with them. Tell them thank you for sharing this message with you. We don't believe in coincidences. So even if you fell upon this show on your own, you are here for a reason. And something in today's message is going to speak to you, whether it's for you or for somebody you know. So make sure that you are following us. We are also live streaming on the different areas of YouTube under Critical Health News and Rumble. Also Critical Health News. We've got Brighteon and X and Instagram and LinkedIn and Patreon. I mean, all these different locations, and we even have our own TV app on Apple TV and Roku. So if you're a viewer of either of those platforms, do a search for Daily with Doc and Becca. You can even do it in Safari, in Google, in the that one that I have right there and can't think of the name of it. But folks, Edge, you will find us and where we are located. We want to know where you're located. So make sure that you leave us a comment, share us some love, and share. If you're on social media, share this program with somebody that you know through your own platform on these different social media platforms. So without further ado, it is my honor and privilege to welcome to the screen with me Dr. Cara Marie Ringland, who is actually at a conference right now, and she is taking the time to be here with us and sharing information so that we can continue to grow with her. So, Dr. Cara, thank you so much, and welcome again to Monday and Daily with Doc, with you being the doc.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This will be my 4th week now with the team here at Critical Health News Network and on the Daily with Doc show with you, Becca. Thank you so much for being such a brilliant host and welcoming me so warmly. I am currently, yes, at another Iridology class with Dr. Ellen Jensen here in San Marcos. And it is a delight to bring this class or workshop essentially to the screen to identify one of my biggest passions. As an iridologist and a traditional naturopath, I had a unique opportunity of doing a 6,000-hour clinical internship under Dr. Carol Geck in the early 2000s. And she was a clinician at the time. She also worked for a number of naturopaths throughout the United States. Predominantly, she worked with Dr. Gary Young at his Young Life Research Clinic, and that is predominantly all about essential oils and aromatherapy. So I'm excited to bring that research here today and highlight Dr. Wallach's research that is highly acclaimed in natural medicine and essential oils. And I just want to check to be sure that the screen is working okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
My main thing to is it glitching at all? I was just checking. Well, today I wanted to highlight the essential oils and how they relate to the iridology. So for those of you who are not familiar with iridology, iridology is the study of the iris of the eye. So the colors, the shapes, the patterns, the textures all indicate different levels of your genetic strengths and weaknesses that we've inherited. This is a non-invasive way of seeing what your housing is. And at my brand, Body Temple, at my clinic, we are offering ways of restoring wellness through nutraceutical intervention, which is why I love longevity. The products that Dr. Wallach has researched and developed are some of the leading products right now in the U.S. since the 80s, honestly. Even Dr. Ellen Jensen has been using them for almost 30 years. So working with a reputable company is really important, especially when it comes with supplements. You can find a lot of information out there today, a lot of products. We have to watch out for making sure that they're not genetically modified, that the product line are from reputable resources, and lacks pollution predominantly. Now, we use this chart as is brought up on the screen currently. This is the iridology chart that shows the representation of the hand, the eyes, much like reflexology. So in the hands, the eyes are in the fingertips, and the digestive system runs around in the palm. Well, if we look at the iris map, it's similar in the aspect that the head is reflected at the top of the map, the legs and the feet at the bottom of the map. So what we do is identify patterns in the fabric of the iris that indicate different organ strengths and weaknesses. So we look at the iris itself like a genetic thumbprint of information that then shows what we've inherited. It doesn't always have to be symptomatic, folks. And you can actually reverse a lot of your inheritance. That's why I love Dr. Wallach's book, epigenetics. He was at the forefront of understanding that we have the power to transform our house, our body temple, so we do not have to suffer from the sins of our forefathers, essentially. And please forgive them, for they knew not what they do. A lot of the times what we've inherited is based on poor nutrition. And that wasn't because people choose to eat poorly. A lot of that is due to either financial and poverty issues or a lack of education. So in Hippocrates' days, he even wrote about, behold the eyes, behold the whole body. The eyes are the windows to the soul. They are a lamp. And when there is light emitting from the eyes, when you see joy, when you see wellness, you can see it in the eyes. And when you have a child, if you've ever had one that has a fever, you can see it in the eyes. Now, how do essential oils connect? We've been talking a lot about nutrition, okay, and how that directly affects the human body, especially because our digestive tract is full of lymphatic fluid or glands, and the villi, in particularly in the small intestine. That's what uptakes our nutrition. Now, what's so unique about essential oils is that they are the blood of the plant, okay? In ancient Egypt, the pharaohs and the, like Cleopatra only used essential oils. It was only the poor who used the dry herbs, okay? So when you look at the value of essential oils, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the equivalent to 30 cups of peppermint tea. So talk about nutraceutical dosages. You want to help your body get the benefits of the herbs, use the essential oils. So even when we look at like Culpeper's herbal book from the early, I think 1700s, 1600s out of Europe, these studies were predominantly based on going outside, picking the plant when it was fresh, making a tea, and serving the tea. Well, when the herb is fresh, it has its essential oils intact, okay? When the herb dries, a large portion of those essential oils get flashed off, as we call it. So they evaporate. Now, when we can use steam distillation in particular is very important when it comes to the integrity of essential oils. We want to be sure to use low heat and low pressure and no solvents to get the essential oil out of the plant. Now, Dr. Wallach has researched his product line so well and has a wonderful line of your basic essential oils that I feel are necessary in every home. If you're a mother, an essential oil kit is your best first aid kit. Okay, you got a tummy ache, put a drop of peppermint oil into the palm of your hand. You can also add a small amount of almond oil, castor oil, or you can use, avocado oil. Those and grapeseed oil are great carrier oils. Now, with small children or any person who may suffer from indigestion, if you put 1 ounce of carrier oil with 15 drops of either peppermint essential oil or ginger, you can add that to the belly button, and then you can massage it all around the abdominal cavity. Now, this will directly affect the nervous system. Okay, so I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You put anything on your skin within 26 seconds, that is in your bloodstream. So you add essential oils, especially to the navel. Now, that's where the umbilical cord was connected. It directly affects your digestive system, and it goes into the circulatory system, affecting the nervous system as well. Now, that's just from topical use. All right. Now, we all know essential oils have a very strong fragrance. Now, what we've learned about essential oils is when you inhale them, it passes through the blood-brain barrier Most medications can't manage this. This is a huge thing when it comes to neuroscience. It also helps with mental health. So when you inhale an essential oil, it goes through the limbic system, which is your emotional center, okay? It attaches to the amygdala gland, which is in the center of the brain, and activates memories. It's where our memories are held. So smells often will activate a memory. For instance, if you smell baked bread, you might suddenly remember being in your grandmother's kitchen, all right? The same is such for essential oils in unlocking trauma and emotions that may be stuck for a human. They also can help activate new memories. So I usually tell students who are studying and are very cerebral to use essential oils to help them. So for instance, rosemary essential oil is good for remembrance. It actually helps activate this, the frontal cortex to be able to uptake more information. And I've told students, if you're going to smell, say, rosemary or sweet orange, which is invigorating and recharging. If you're feeling tired, you can inhale essential oils and get a little refreshment. This will also help for test time. So if you want to go take a test, study using essential oil of orange. And then when you take the test, use the essential oil, and it will help you recall facts and figures much easier because it's attached to a sense now. And what we've also discovered is you can use essential oils for a very clear purpose for releasing trauma and emotions. You can help people with, obviously, with really chronic conditions too. Because again, if the peppermint is 1 drop that equals 30 cups of peppermint tea, you're getting a nutraceutical dose. So lavender, the story with it is it's excellent as a topical for any kind of skin burns or skin afflictions. The first time they learned about lavender, it was a chemist who had a chemical burn in his lab. He didn't know what to do. And he happened to have a vat of lavender essential oil that he had just extracted. He put his hands in it and he resolved the burns. And honestly, he had 0 scarring. And that's when some of the first studies on lavender started in France. Now, with the essential oils, we really want to remember to stay away from solvent-based essential oils. Most oils that you find at your health food store or GNC, any of those places are most likely solvent-based or in a carrier oil, which means it's heavily diluted. And obviously, essential oils like peppermint can have an effect on the skin. So they call it neat when you put it on without a carrier oil. It's always safe to try using a carrier oil. And that's where I say 1 ounce to 15 drops is usually your best bet for a solution. Now, what's amazing is when you couple this, you start looking at essential oils actually have an electrical frequency, okay? And that's what I really want to zero in on today. We have the Essential 90 through Dr. Wallach's longevity company that basically gives you your 90 essential trace minerals. Why do we need minerals? It's because it makes our cells electric, okay? We are electrical beings. And if you can take, like there's a Hertz measurement device, which basically measures the DC frequency of all living beings. So you can test the frequency of your food, you can test the frequency of your water, you can do the same with essential oils. Now, when we look at this, we notice that our frequency, if we're in a high state of wellness, our frequency resides around 62 to 72 hertz on a DC scale, all right? Most illness begins around 55 hertz, where you get a common cold, flu. Your energy is literally low. Okay. Your electrical frequency is low. Now, most cancers and all the, Epstein-Barr virus, mono, all of those reside around the 42 hertz. So when we look at this as an electrical being, we want to keep our electricity up. Now, using electrical essential minerals so that we conduct electricity better helps. And then making sure we drink good alkaline water. I also am a huge proponent of electrolytes, which are your essential minerals, but you can also use the tangy tangerine. And I love that product. It's easy to drink, but we think a lot about hydration. We think the quality and the quantity of water. We don't think about the catalyst. That every cell has a membrane, and that cell needs electrolytes so that it becomes osmotic and can uptake the moisture and the hydration directly into the cell. So when we're born, we're at about 70%, 75% water. And oftentimes people are around 50%, maybe 60% as they get older. And that's chronic dehydration. All right. And that is also part of not having those minerals in there so that they can uptake the hydration. Well, we look at water. Water conducts electricity, right? We know that. We don't put an electrical cord in water because it'll cause a short and a shock because it's highly conductive. So we need to be hydrated and with the proper electrolyte and mineral solution so that the water in our lymphatic vessel conducts energy better. Now, with essential oils, what's amazing is they carry electrical frequencies also. So frequencies can be tested. Frankincense, for instance, is around 62 hertz. Frankincense actually aligns with the bones. So if you look at the skeletal structure of the human body, it resides around 62 hertz. So they've done studies using frequency with the frankincense to help align bones. I actually did these experiments where we would mark each vertebrae along the spine, apply essential oils with zero force or even manipulation or even massage, just the oils. And we would watch those bones move, sometimes up to a half an inch from their original placement. It helps reverse scoliosis. And this is not only from an electrical standpoint, but when we were doing these experiments, we were using a variety of essential oils that are antiviral. So we want to talk about the immune system. These essential oils carry highly antiviral properties. Oregano, thyme, cinnamon, clove. These are some of the most potent for antiviral properties. If you take a petri dish of cinnamon essential oil, no virus, bacteria, fungus, or parasite can survive in that. All right. So there's a study in the 1300s with the Black Plague, where there was a band of thieves that were running around looting the homes of those who had died. Well, they were not getting sick. And when they were finally arrested, the king brought them into his chambers and said, "I'll give you amnesty if you can tell me your secrets so I can keep my family safe from this plague." So they were apparently the children of an alchemist who was making essential oils. And at that time in those areas, it was, in India areas, they were using cinnamon and clove and pepper predominantly as their essential oils. And they would take their clothing and soak them in a blend of these essential oils and wear them and go out into these homes with the dead bodies, loot and pillage, and never get sick. So let me tell you, when my little babies were tiny and we were flying on the airports, I would put the essential oils on their blankets. When the pandemic was happening, I put a lot of essential oils on my, mask, my clothing. I used it with my hand sanitizer just to boost it. And you can also do diffusers with essential oils. Like in France, they use the essential oil of lavender, and they diffuse that quite often to be able to remove airborne illnesses that are, traveling around in hospitals. So this is something that we have been given through nature, through creation. This is not concocted chemistry. This is not made in a laboratory, aside from using natural resources like steam to extract essential oils. The other thing that I've done a lot of study on is the essenes. So if you look at the word essene, guess what? Essential is very close to it. And why is that? Excuse me. The essenes were actually, they were perfumers in Jerusalem. So they were contracted by the temples in Jerusalem to make the essential oils. And they were on the other side of the sea in Galilee, where they had their compound. This is where the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in the early 1940s. This is where a lot of the essential oil practices began. Oiling the skin, especially in dry desert regions, was a way not only of preserving the skin from obviously being dry or brittle or cracking, but it was also a way of making sure that you were protected from airborne illnesses, virus, bacteria, parasites, and fungus. So this is a preventative measure. Now, something we also taught a lot of the times was to mix, your carrier oil. You can do oregano. You could also do your clove or cinnamon, depending on what you like to smell. And add that to your 1 ounce of a carrier oil and rub that on the bottoms of your feet, especially before bed or early in the morning. It helps with keeping, and if you think about it, it's affecting all of your reflex points. So if you put a drop of essential oil in your palm, you're hitting all of your organ points that are associated particularly to your digestion, to your liver, to your pancreas. So that's why we use a lot of peppermint and ginger. Even clove and cinnamon can be very helpful for digestive disturbances. So we always want to remember that with high quality essential oils, you don't need a lot. Remember, 1 drop is the same as 30 cups of peppermint tea. But when you use them regularly, you're going to be also cleansing the lymphatic system. Think of that. So what I like to do, when you see cellulite, okay, we're all familiar with it in the weight loss world, you can actually amplify the reduction of cellular congestion, lymphatic congestion. That's all cellulite is. That's all really pain is, oftentimes too, is swelling and inflammation in the tissues, the ligaments, the joints, the organs, okay, and inside of the lymphatic system. So what I like to do in my hydrotherapy care is I usually use my dry skin brush. And this is where I really love to get into is the self-care, because self-care is the active state of self-love. All right. So when we put our hands to practice, when we actually use the air, water, the earth, the soil, so that we can cleanse and restore ourselves, so we can maintain our wellness. And we have to do this actively. Faith without works is dead, as they say. So we have to turn our prayers into actions when we're praying for deliverance from illness, for instance. We also need to make choices. Eat the right food, drink good water, get your 90 minerals and all of your electrolytes, and then make sure you care for the skin. The skin is your largest organ. We all kind of think of it as this like external covering, like a plastic shield. It is not. It is porous. It absorbs everything. Okay. And in today's world, we have a lot of pollution out there. So how nice it is to cleanse your skin properly, because not only is metabolic waste trying to come out through your skin, but you're also being inundated by pollutants, whether it's detergents in your fabrics, cleaning products, the air quality, cosmetics. Okay. And that's why I really love what Longevity's done, because they've also offered an entire line of hygienic and cosmetic and skincare products. Because if you can't pronounce it, if you can't eat it, it should not be on your skin. All right. So creating a skincare plan that is in harmony with nature. A lot of the illnesses that we're seeing, especially with women and hormone dysfunction, is coming from skincare products that that we've all been programmed to think that we need. I've talked about it before. I used to do hair dye. I was poisoning myself. Even the natural had the PPDs in it, and it's heavy metals, and it's going straight onto your brain, literally, and into the traps. And I do Thai massage, and I'm an instructor, and I see most congestion in the neck is from chemical pollutants, whether it's hair care, all of the eye makeup and the glues and everything that people are using, and the perfumes. They're all toxic. And when I had severe allergies, the perfumes were what would take me over. I'd end up coughing. In our clinic, we had a policy that you couldn't come into the office if you had a perfume on. Any kind of synthetic chemical fragrances, because one, they're going straight to your brain. And that's why, for me, essential oils have been more for beauty. I love to smell good. I like to experience feeling like a flower. So when we can bring in these essential oils, we can also have a cosmetic effect. It can make us radiant and glowing. So what I like to use is grapefruit essential oil applied to my dry skin brush. If I take a drop of, I like the pink grapefruit, has a more of a feminine smell. The regular grapefruit is just fine. And you can use lemon also. These are really good for lymphatic fluids and for removing or like increasing circulation. So I'll take a drop, put it in my palm, take a dry skin brush, kind of get the bristles, kind of touch the essential oil. And then you can dry skin brush with that, and it will help lift the dead skin, but it's also going to put grapefruit essential oil into the circulatory system, directly affecting lymphatic congestion, and you can target cellulite in certain areas. If you have your quote problem areas, I look at my love areas. So if you have an area that you would like to see reduced, love it more, give it more attention, give it more massage, give it more essential oils. And so taking your carrier oil, you can also do your 15 drops of essential oil and use that to actually coat your entire body. And that's what I like to do is I make my own blends. You can get fancy. You can have a lot of fun. Looking at Dr. Joel Wallach's book on aromatherapy is a great resource to get started. You can always contact me. And if you have any specific conditions, you can send me an iPhoto at cara@bodytemplehealth.com, or you can text me 530-263-2125. And we've done a few case studies here where you can send an iPhoto in through your basic phone camera. It does not have to be super fancy to get you started on your wellness path. And we can get you a plan that's tailored for you, not just some blanket statement. And we can create your plan, everything that you need for supplements, as well as nutrition alongside of your essential oils and self-care plan. So you feel like you're educated. A lot of times we have a lot of information that gets thrown at us, and then we don't know how to apply it. So we really want to make this user-friendly, so that especially as a mother, a caregiver, we feel empowered in our homes. We can take care of our sick, and we can restore wellness. Now, some of my favorite smells is sandalwood, frankincense, and I love rose. I absolutely adore ylang ylang and jasmine and all the flowers. And when we look at electrical hertz, so we'll get back to the frequency of things. Rose essential oil, it is the highest in an electrical frequency. Okay, so it is at 320 hertz. Now, when we think about that, you can use essential oils to lift your frequency. You can use it to get into states of meditation or prayer. It actually helps you be able to alter your head space. And it's really good for all kinds of mental health stuff. So I actually have a story where I was using an essential oil with the Idaho balsam fir, frankincense, and rosewood. All right. Frankincense, by the way, there's a reason that it was in the story of the three wise men. It is one of the best essential oils on the planet because it's antiviral, antibacterial. There has been case studies of using it for tumor reduction, and it also aligns with the spine, so it helps with spinal alignment. Well, I was using this essential oil while I was pregnant because I was suffering with some depression. I had heard that it had a similar constituency to Prozac in the chemistry. All right, so when we look at chemistry, essential oils have very strong chemical constituency. The terpenes, the sesquiterpenes, these are all measurable. Now, what's interesting about these is that they pass through the blood-brain barrier again. So this is where we ended up with, I ended up having a cesarean with my son, an emergency cesarean. And when they, they were concerned about my health, so they took my urine, and then they discovered that I had Prozac, is what they told me. I'm obviously anti-pharmaceutical for the most part, and I had never taken Prozac in my entire life, but they had been found in my urine because of using the essential oils. That's how powerful frankincense is. That's how strong it is it can actually balance mental health. So I have a quick question about hertz. What is hertz? Hertz is specific to direct current. So it's the frequency of electricity. That's basically the measurement that they use, is how many hertz something is. So when we look at our human frequency, we exist around 72% or 72 hertz. Now you can use an essential oil like rose, and you can actually lift your frequency. So when you're dealing with heavy situations, emotional kind of situations, it can really help to alleviate the stress. And it also activates your limbic system. So endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, all of those get naturally released. And that's why frankincense, rose, jasmine, some of these have such potent mental health balances and benefits. My dad used to work in an Alzheimer's lockdown unit, and they used essential oils to calm their patients. It was very, very clear that lavender in particular would really bring the energy down if somebody was really upset. So they also use that in their diffusers. So I also say, if you're not comfortable putting essential oils onto your skin, maybe you're a little, you're not sure how to use them, you want some more coaching, that's fine. Go ahead and diffuse them. Put them into a diffuser, get comfortable using them, because they will take virus and bacteria out of your air and neutralize it. So like in the car, I love to use a diffuser in my car. If you don't have a lot of money and want to buy all the fancy little devices, you also can use a cotton swab or a cotton ball and drop your essential oils on it. And you can put that in the vents. Like when I get into a hotel room, I put it in the vents right away. And that starts to clear the air. And it makes me feel that my air is kind of being purified rather than, using the communal air with everybody. And then I definitely want to say that with children, animals, it is really helpful to use essential oils as a bridge. The elderly, I've done a lot of end of life care. And it is one of my favorite bridges for being able to support someone that you love without stressing them. Sometimes it's too much to do too much massage. It's too much to give them a bunch of supplements. Okay. But an essential oil is something we all love. We like the smell. It brings us into a place of peace. It's something it's not like gagging down something that tastes bitter, right? It's something people receive with grace. And that in itself makes it more activated as a healing property. And I just had a question about oregano. Oregano is an incredibly antiviral product. Now, the one thing about oregano is that it is so strong it can burn the skin. This is one that absolutely must be with a carrier oil alongside with cloves, cinnamon, and thyme. Now, the more acidic you are, the more likely you'll have a reaction to the essential oil. So that can be an indicator of your acid alkaline balance. Now, as we know, like for me, I've done a lot of talk about alkalizing. In my book, Awaken and Become a Tree of Life, Always Be Cleansing. It's the ABCs, the building blocks to self-care. That is all about getting your canvas, so to speak, your white canvas prepared for your masterpiece of wellness. If you're not alkaline, most likely everything you're doing will not take its effect as well. It's your catalyst. Now, we don't think a lot about this, but the alkalining process is based on food. Our 5 primary acid-forming foods are sugar, of course, which is a lot of simple carbohydrates because they turn into glucose. Same with a lot of fruits. Okay, so even if it's natural or organic, you got to think about how the glucose is released. A lot of people think, oh, can I do maple syrup or it's organic sugar? Well, it's still glucose, still going to release into the blood sugar. So you still got to look at that. All right. Now, the other 4 are dairy products, egg whites in particular. Red meat can be very acid forming, along with most meats, and wheat. Why? Wheat, because a lot of it's genetically modified, hybridized. It's also a sticky food. So any kind of sticky food, if you think about it, is kind of like it's going to stick inside of your guts. It's not going to go passing through as easier. It'll also be a sticky fly trap, so to speak, for virus, bacteria, fungus, and possibly parasites. And so that's what I've also recognized is you want to keep your fiber up. Doesn't mean you have to eliminate these foods altogether. All right. Unless you have a severe allergy to one. And believe you me, I think you can clear allergies. I was severely allergic to things throughout my childhood, all 5 of those foods, along with goat milk and nutritional yeast and basically the world. I was covered in hives for 6 years from 12 to 18 years old. And this is what prompted me into natural health. Okay. And through cleansing, through self-care, I've reversed all of those allergens. I mean, I had a blood work done just last year. I'm not allergic to anything anymore. So I don't believe that you're stuck with an autoimmune issue. It's not a life sentence. I believe through epigenetics and the practice of self-care, real nutraceutical, okay? And that's something I want to really define here. Cleansing, in the way I use the word, is about daily house chores. Taking the trash out, sweeping the floors. You got to eliminate through your colon every single day. Your kidneys your skin, and your lungs. So, urine is filtered blood. So we want to make sure we're hydrated. And again, it's not the quality or the quantity, it's making sure you have the catalysts, all right? The 90 essential minerals, your electrolytes. It's very easy to get it through the tangy tangerine drink, okay? That's your catalyst. And with that, now you have an electrical body as well. So all things start to move and work much better. Now, detoxification to me is more of your seasonal house cleaning. That's when you're going to clean the fans, steam clean the floors, literally steam clean the organs of acidic residues. So even if you were in a perfect environment, living in the jungle, there were no chemicals, okay, you would still come in contact with acid-forming foods. So we want to keep the acid-forming foods down to about a 20% in your daily diet. So if you're going to have meat, red meat, that's perfectly fine. Just be sure, number one, you don't combine it with starch. Keep it by itself. Pick a protein or a starch and add green vegetables. So 80% of your plate should be green vegetables, whether they're steamed or in a salad form with your meat or your starches. And I always promote enzymes. So enzymes, Dr. Wallach has a huge line of enzymes that I absolutely adore. If you have problems with indigestion, burping, acid reflux, I suggest trying the pancreatin and the hydrochloric acid blend prior to eating, about 30 minutes. And I suggest to add the multi-enzyme to that. And I think almost every human needs a multi-enzyme because we've been eating a lot of denatured, cooked, overcooked foods. So we have to remember that a cooked food has no enzymes. So we're running on a depleted bank account of enzymes. Our pancreas can't keep up with it. So let's help the pancreas. Let's give it back, okay? And as we see with all of the basics for guidelines, no heated oils, all right? That's really hard on the liver. We need to be mindful of that. We've been taught upside down how to eat. And most of our products are extracted through pore forms too. So and there's a lot of information coming out now, and Dr. Wallach's at the leading of really understanding the properties of grains too, because we've been given a lot of information on grains, and not all of it's accurate, guys. A lot of it's been for consumerism, because you can produce a lot of grain, right? But it doesn't mean that the human body was designed to consume a lot of grain. We're actually hunters and gatherers more so by nature. So high protein diet with a lot of green vegetables and fiber is actually one of the best diets for the human body. It gives you all of your essentials. So again, we can use our food systems, but we are living in the year 2024 and our soil is depleted. We're dealing with a lot of mass production of food. So having our supplements and having a good quality line is really helpful. And again, essential oils, back to that, they're the blood of the plant. That is where you can really activate a lot of your supplemental products. So when I have people with problems with their colon and their digestion, peppermint on the belly, and add enzymes. Chew your food better. Maybe do blended foods for a while, okay? If you have liver issues, okay, I really love using frankincense on the liver. It's wonderful for that. You can also use the grapefruit, is pretty helpful for the liver. And you can use castor oil predominantly over the liver. And castor oil is a deeply penetrating essential, or it's a viscous oil, so it's thick, okay? The thicker the oil, the deeper it can actually go. So what you want to do is you add your essential oil and then you use that carrier oil. The castor oil will drive the essential oil in deeper into the organs. And you can research castor oil packs, but usually Even massaging the castor oil into the organs. You can use a heating pad if you like to get them temp up. I do a cheater style where I put the castor oil all over my hair, skin after I do my dry skin brushing, and then I get into the bathtub or the shower. And I let that oil penetrate even deeper. And I like to use either a loofah, a Korean scrub cloth, to remove excess dead oils from the skin. And the castor oil is an emollient. So it'll actually grab dead skin, toxins, and draw it off the surface. It's a really powerful way of buffing and really cleaning the skin on a deeper level. And so skincare to me is everything. If we can have radiant skin, supple tissues, that shows youth. So staying hydrated is everything. We want to stay vibrant, supple, young, flexible, right? So making sure you stay active as well. It's very important. But yeah, I'm very excited to bring this particular topic to the forefront. I feel like it's an excellent way of activating every home. You know, have your lavender, your peppermint, frankincense, lemon. These are some of the most essential oils for your cabinet. And they can be used for all kinds of things. If you have the lemon essential oils, you can actually put 1 drop into a quart and you have lemon flavored water. Same with peppermint. We used to do this for fun. We would even use fennel and all kinds of fun different flavors to be able to change it up. And especially in the summertime, it's really kind of fun to have some new flavors and to flavor your water, so to speak. And, you know, for skincare too, bug bites, get out your peppermint essential oil and it'll take the swelling down. Even lavender will help a lot too for bug bites. And so here we are in the summertime. Also, please stay off of chemical bug deterrents. There's another one. You can actually use your essential oils as a natural deterrent to mosquitoes. And I personally, I really love, you know, you can use frankincense or peppermint is a good one also for that, and lavender. But you know what works really well is vanilla essential oil. I know it's a random one, but it is amazing. And I used to live in North Carolina where the bugs were so bad. And I was amazed to see how well it worked. Also, of course, your lemons, your citronella, tea tree, all of those are pretty effective. And you can, you know, you can work like the thieves. You can put it on your clothing. You don't have to put it directly on your skin. So that's another thing. Remember, we used to put it on our hats and our scarves, you know, a bandana if we were working out, farming at the hours when the bugs would come out. And it really helps a lot. But I want to say thank you. I didn't know if there were any questions. And I also have to make sure to always say, yes, I am an iridologist and a naturopath. By trade, I'm here to educate people. So I'm not here to substitute for any kind of medical care. I am not here to diagnose, prescribe, and practice medicine. I'm here simply as a health educator. And I want to see people feel empowered. I want to see people feel like they are the author of their health. And a lot of times we've handed over a lot of our decision making and wellness to strangers. And if we are just a little bit more educated, then we can feel like we're the captain of our own ship.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Becca.
So much, Dr. Cara. Lots of information that is shared there, folks. And I wish I would have known about vanilla, because I'm like a magnet to all those little critters that are flying and wanting to bite something. At least I used to be. It's not as bad now since I've been on the 90 essential nutrients. I think it makes me feel better, makes me sweeter, but not to them. So that works. And yes, we do have some questions. We have AJ with his hand up. But before AJ asks his question, Barbara did ask, what essential oils are okay for use with animals, including cats, dogs, and horses? Do you happen to know that offhand?
Yes. Tea tree is actually very good and citronella based. So you can use the citronella form of eucalyptus. And what we
Mhm.
would do is you can actually put that, because I had horses for years, you can actually put that on a cloth. So put the essential oil on the cloth, and then you can wipe it over their eyes and around their face. And that seems to work as well. And little do you know, I learned equine iridology. So I would look at horse eyes, and we would actually do essential oil treatments on the spine for illnesses. And, if you treat the spine, you're going to treat all the organs because the spinal column is attached to everything. It's the central nervous system. And so one of these days, we'll do a little more information and perhaps a live teaching where you can learn how to apply essential oils, especially to the spine, to help with overall health. With animals, I do have to say with cats and dogs, there are some concerns. So you don't want to do essential oils neat, which is without a dilution on them. It's preferable to put the essential oil onto a collar maybe, and then put that on them. But their system is much smaller than ours, and we don't want to overlay or burden their liver. So it's important to dilute the essential oils with pets. And but they are totally safe for them as long as you're not putting them in their eyes or in their or making them consume anything. You just keep it topical.
I know that there are a couple hot essential oils that they say to avoid with pets, but the
Yeah.
ones that you mentioned are some of the most popular ones to be a therapeutic support for some of the most common poor health symptoms, even in our
Yeah.
pets. So thank you so
Especially
much
their
for that.
nervousness. Yeah, like lavender. That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now let's go to AJ. AJ, what questions do you have for Dr. Cara?
Hey, Dr. Cara, fantastic information on Facebook. Olga says, fantastic information. Thank you, with a lot of hearts and all that stuff. And, I was going to make a comment when you talked earlier about the robbers going in and use of essential oils. I don't know if you remember that mask that you see on Halloween with the big nose.
Yes,
Those are old doctors who used essential oils in that big nose to keep themselves away from different diseases, etc. I'm sure
absolutely.
just wanted to highlight that for some of the folks. And that's pretty much it. I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing with us. And
Oh,
and thank you.
well, thank you. It is a delight to be a participant on this show and with this network. I mean, this is my life pulse. I was raised as a homeschooled kid by my mother, who was a master herbalist. So plants were everything in our lives. In fact, when I started getting hives, she would make peppermint tea and I would soak in it to try to get the itching to go away. And so the big disconnect with her was nutrition, though. I mean, we were eating food from the farm, but it was still flour and sugar and dairy and eggs and all that stuff. And we lived in a Nordic environment, so we didn't have a lot of fresh produce either. It was all canned fruits and vegetables, and then maybe some salad out of the garden. So meeting Dr. Carol Geck as a naturopath and learning the art of nutrition and seeing how the eyes reflect everything, and then learning how to empower your actions through hands predominantly is what I found, especially as a young mother, that I felt like I didn't have to call the doctor every time the baby cried. I could feel empowered as a mother to know, okay, she has a stomach ache. Well, I can put a little peppermint on the bottom of her feet and give her a little massage. And I would watch my children especially respond to the essential oils the quickest. And I've helped so many people with grief. And I'll tell you, it's like carrying around magic or a miracle in your hand. And, being on an airplane with an upset baby, and you have a little bit of lavender, and you give that poor mom a little drop of it, and you watch that baby start to get quiet and go to sleep. And these are those precious moments. And if we can all feel more empowered like this, then it gives us confidence. And I think that's what we're lacking in our healthcare. We've been taught that we need all of our doctors. And believe you me, I am a huge advocate of using your doctors. Get your baselines, get your blood work, take the mystery out of things, and educate yourself to all the ways that you can support yourself through your food choices predominantly. And like I say, with our deficient soil, thanks to Longevity and their product line, we actually have a trusted resource for supplementing. So because what we're dealing with is not only deficient foods, but deficient tissues and organs. So we're like in the red, and we need to boost our bank accounts with nutrition. And sometimes it takes that nutraceutical dosages. It's not just eating broccoli. You might need a lot more chlorophyll to clear the system. And so the greens, the things that you have, and same with enzymes, help break your food down properly so you get the nutrition.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Just so much information, folks. And I love the fact that this is available for replay, and you can listen to it over and over, and the sections that you missed. And she had mentioned some great essential oils that you can find on the Longevity website, but make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. If you are part of our newsletter, this is the first time that you are hearing about this, or you will be getting a link that will take you to products that Dr. Cara has mentioned here today, and be very educated. Be a sponge. Like she said, she's here for informational purposes, for education, a lot like pharmacist Ben, who I see is on with us as well. They are all about taking what they have learned, not just from books, but application in clinical situations and things that work, and providing that information to us free of charge, so that we also can be empowered to make these more healthy or healthier choices in our own lives. And you had mentioned, new moms and babies. And I know some people that are the slightest little drip of the nose, they're running them to the doctor, getting them on an antibiotic, and just killing off all the good and bad. Folks,
yeah.
Our bodies were not designed to have everything killed off. We support the immune system, so the immune system itself has the ability to help our bodies fight off what might be coming at us, and that makes us stronger. So just remember, we're not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient. And when you give the body what it was designed to have, the body itself can do some amazing things. And I am super excited to learn more about frankincense and straightening the spine, and more about applications of essential oils. And our co-host, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, is a certified aromatherapist. So I can't wait to get the two of you on talking about essential oils in the future. So more to come, folks, as we are looking at that synergistic blend between nutrition and things like essential oils, things like using Iridology to look into the body and get things figured out. Dr. Cara mentioned her phone number, her website, where if you're interested in doing an eye analysis, you can get a hold of her, and she will give more information about that as well. So thank you again, Dr. Cara, for being here with us. If we could get the co-hosts on the screen. We are at the top of the hour.
Thank
Folks,
you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. There's no one to thank. We do have a team of certified holistic health coaches available by phone or by email. The phone number is 855-949-3377. That's 855-949-3377. Or by email. If you have questions, it's easy. questions@DailywithDoc.com. And if you'd like information about joining us, of course, if you're working with somebody already, you get back with them and say, hey, how can I be part of this crusade, part of this sharing with others and empowering others to have that better health journey? There's no one to thank. Our team is available to you as well by phone or send an email, info@DailywithDoc.com. Our team today, we have Sherry. Sherry is she's part of the technical and making sure that the streams are going through and keeping an eye on the comments and chats. Thank you, Sherry. We have Marilyn, who, if you're here live with us, and I forgot to mention, Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time, go to dailywithdoczoom.com to join us on our live Zooms where we're given information. But when you're live, you get to see the work that Marilyn does, and that's dictating and putting that information that is spoken into text so that you can take a screenshot or picture with your camera and say, okay, this is what I need. This is what I said. Oh, I'm glad she repeated that because I missed all the things that Dr. Cara had mentioned, or Pharmacist Ben had mentioned, or Dr. Wallach had mentioned. Marilyn is fantastic at helping us be able to capture that. So thank you, Marilyn. We have Albert, who is helping to let people in and keep an eye on things for us. So thank you so much, Albert. That is a big job. It may seem very small, but it's very much needed. Thank you. We have Ruth Ellen, who's my executive production manager, who's helping keep us all organized, and also part of the technical staff, where she is running the actual live stream of the program, changing out our scenes for us. Thank you, Ruth Ellen, for taking on that. And we also have AJ, who is responsible for us being on the platform that you are watching on, beyond YouTube and Rumble. So we want to know where you're at. Let us know. If there's no way to comment or like or subscribe, send us a message at info@dailywithdoc.com and let us know where you are watching us from and what platform. My name is Becca Dukes. I am the hostess of this program and also the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, where we teach you about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, solutions to correcting those deficiencies, but we go beyond that. We go into all 8 areas of life and well-being and helping to elevate, like Cara was mentioning about the hertz, the frequencies. Folks, there's a lot of things that we can do to raise our frequency where our body functions better. So thank you again, Dr. Cara, for being here with us, folks. Give it up for Dr. Cara. Some great information share. And we look forward to next Monday with even more.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, everybody. And Dr. Cara, hey, go get them with your knowledge at the conference and training that you're at today.
Thank you. I'm on it. Have a good day.
Well, until next time, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.